Deep in Lithuania's ancient wilderness lies the Šventasis Miškas, a forest sacred to Medeina, goddess of wolves and woods. Locals spoke in hushed tones, warning that entering without offerings invited her eternal wrath, but for travelers dismissed the tales as folklore. Armed with cameras, maps, and skepticism, they aimed to unravel the forest's secrets. As they crossed the forest's threshold, the air grew heavy, thick with the sharp, resinous scent of pine sap and the damp, fungal decay of earth that clung to their throats. A white hare, its fur glowing faintly like moonlight on snow, darted across their path, pausing to fix them with unblinking amber eyes. Raminta, her round face pale under her messy auburn braid, clutched Lina's sleeve, her fingers trembling through her worn wool jumper. "It's Medeina's messenger. The legends say it warns intruders to leave." Lina, tall and wiry with short cropped black hair, jerked free, the bitter taste of adrenaline souring her mouth. "It's just a rabbit, Raminta. Don't let your book spook you." Tomas, lanky with a mop of sandy hair, fiddled with his camera, his calloused fingers twitching as he grinned at Mantas. "She spooked already, mate. 10 quid says she bolts first." Mantas, broad-shouldered with a faded leather jacket and a scar across his knuckles, smirked, his breath catching the musky odor of wet moss. "I don't bet on cowards," he muttered, his dark eyes tracking the hare as it vanished. A low, eerie hum pulsed through the trees, Medeina's presence, heavy as a damp cloak on their skin, making Lina's sharp features tighten despite her scoff. "Just the wind. Let's move." The canopy swallowed the sun, casting an emerald twilight that chilled their faces and stung their eyes with its dimness. Their map failed, paths twisted, landmarks vanished, and the crunch of leaves underfoot was unnervingly repetitive. Tomas stopped, his green eyes flashing with frustration as he wiped sour sweat from his brow. "Lina, this map's rubbish. We're going in circles." She shoved the crumpled paper at him, her palms clammy, her angular jaw set. "Then you navigate. Genius. I'm not your babysitter." Raminta, her small frame hunched under a heavy rucksack, clutched her damp notebook, her voice soft but insistent. "This is a sacred grove. Medeina's watching." Mantas, leaning against a tree, the rough bark snagging his jacket, snorted, the faint coppery taste of fear in his mouth. "You're buying this fairy tale, Raminta? Thought you were smarter than that." Her hazel eyes flared, her freckled cheeks flushing. "You felt that hum, Mantas? Don't play tough guy with me." Lina, rubbing her cold hands, snapped, "Both of you, shut up. We're not here to bicker like children." Low growls echoed, wolves, their yellow eyes glinting through the mist, their musky scent wafting on the damp air. At dusk, whispers slithered into their minds, cruel and personal, mingling with the loamy smell of the forest floor. Lina grabbed Tomas's arm, her nails digging into his jacket, the bitter taste of panic rising as her mother's voice accused her of abandoning family for ambition. "Tomas, you hear that? Tell me I'm not losing it." He shook her off, his face pale, sweat stinging his eyes as his childhood bully's taunts echoed. "It's not real, Lina." "Back off," he muttered, his voice cracking. Raminta, trembling, the faint salt of tears on her lips, turned to Mantas, her voice barely above a whisper. "My professor's voice, it's saying my research is worthless." "What's yours saying?" Mantas, his stubble jaw clenched, muttered about a woman's sobs begging him to stay, the acrid burn of guilt in his throat. "None of your business, Raminta." "Drop it." Lina, her sharp eyes darting, barked, "We stick together, no matter what. Got it?" The wolves' howls joined Medeina's hum, vibrating in their bones, sharp with the scent of wet fur and pine. The forest pulsed, trees leaning closer, their bark rough and etched with face-like shapes that seemed to watch. Lina's torch caught a tall, antlered figure in the mist, Medeina, her moss-cloaked form radiating a cold, oppressive weight that prickled their skin and soured the air with ozone. Tomas grabbed Lina's shoulder, his fingers slick with sweat, his voice shaking. "Lina, you saw that, right? That wasn't a shadow." She pushed him away, her mouth dry as dust, her heart pounding. "It's just the forest, Tomas. Don't lose it." Raminta, praying softly, her breath hitching with the taste of fear, turned to Mantas, her small hands clutching his sleeve. "We need to respect this place, Mantas. Help me find an offering." He yanked free, his laugh bitter, his dark eyes haunted. "What, you going to sacrifice me, bookworm? Get real." Lina, rubbing her chapped lips, snapped, "Both of you, focus. We're not dying over some myth." By day 2, hunger gnawed at their stomachs, their mouths parched, the metallic taste of desperation lingering. The whispers wove fears into visions. Tomas, seeing his dead father flanked by snarling wolves, the sour stench of his fear heavy, yelled at Lina. "This is your fault. Dragging us here for your bloody article." She fired back, her throat raw, her sharp cheekbones flushed. "You begged to come, Tomas. Wanted the glory for your portfolio, didn't you?" Raminta, sobbing, the salt of tears mixing with the earthy air, saw her grandmother and Medeina's shadow, grabbing Mantas's hand. "We're doomed unless we appease her. Please, Mantas." He shoved her away, his breath hot with panic, his scarred knuckles white. "I'm not playing your game, Raminta. Save yourself." Lina, fighting whispers of worthlessness, the bitter taste of failure coating her tongue, shouted, "Stop fighting. We're stronger together." They stumbled into a clearing with a mossy, blood-stained altar, its surface slick and cold under their fingers, wolves circling, their musky scent choking the air. Raminta, frantic, her braid unraveling, turned to Lina. "We need an offering, now." Lina hesitated, then tossed her notebook onto the altar, its damp pages curling, the ink smearing. "There. Happy?" Mantas scoffed, slicing his palm with a pocket knife, the sharp sting of pain mixing with the coppery smell of blood as it dripped onto the stone. "That's an offering, not your scribbles." Tomas grabbed his arm, his voice cracking, the taste of bile rising. "Mantas, stop! You're making it worse." The wool stilled, Medeina's hum paused, then roared, her antlered form flickering at the clearing's edge, the air electric with her fury. Lina screamed, her throat hoarse, "Mantas, you idiot! You've pissed her off." The forest tightened, thorns tore at their skin, drawing sharp stings and the warm trickle of blood. Tomas, chasing a shadow, yelled for Lina, his voice raw, his camera strap snagging on branches. "Lina, don't leave me." She reached for him, her hand scraping rough bark, but wolves cut him off, their snarls and musky stench overwhelming as his screams faded. Raminta, dragged by vines, the damp, earthy grip cold on her skin, begged Mantas, her voice breaking. "Help me, please." He froze, muttering, "I can't," the sour taste of cowardice in his mouth, then ran. Lina grabbed his jacket, her fingers numb, her voice desperate. "Mantas, we stay together." He shoved her away, his scarred hands shaking, vanishing into fog, the wolves' howls trailing him. Alone, Lina scratched into her notebook, her hands trembling, the damp paper tearing under her pen. "Medeina sees you. She knows your fears. The forest claims what you owe." The goddess's hum vibrated in her chest, the wolves' howls and musky scent closing in, her mouth dry with the taste of despair. Years later, a hiker found the tattered journal, the air thick with pine and ozone, hearing Medeina's hum and distant howls as he fled. The Šventasis Miškas stands untouched, its paths guarded by the white hare and wolves, Medeina's presence ever watchful, her whispers luring the unwary until they vanish into the endless, sacred green.